In this lesson, we're going to introduce you to the concept of a network. Now, a network is a group of interconnected computers and other devices that are able to share information with each other. Now, in order for any network to function, there are several key components that have to be in place. First of all, the network needs to have computers and devices that have a need to communicate with each other. Now, these devices will often be referred to as network nodes or hosts. So if you hear the term node or host, we're talking about the same thing. We're talking about the computers on the network. Now, in order to communicate, these computers and other devices have to be connected together in some way. And this is done using connecting media. So we can use twisted pair cabling, we can use fiber optic cables, we can even use Wi-Fi radio signals as a type of connecting media to connect all these different devices together. Now, each computer and device in the network also has to have a network interface. Now, a network interface has a very special job. It converts the digital data that's coming from the computer into some type of signal that can be transmitted on the network medium. And it goes ahead and does just that. It sends that signal through the connecting medium. Now, the network interface may use an electrical signal. It could use a light signal. It could even use a radio signal in order to send that data on the medium. Now, these signals are received by the other network interfaces on the network and are converted back into the digital data that the computers and other devices can process. A network also needs
cheese
in order to define how that data is going to be formatted. And we call these standards network protocols. The important thing to remember is the fact that if the computers on the network aren't using the same network protocol, then they're not going to be able to understand the data that's being communicated. Now, networks are expensive to set up and they're really expensive to maintain. So you might be asking, why on earth would a company...
Are you winning, son?
Actually save an organization money in the long run? For example, networks allow users to share peripherals. Suppose we have a typical office with several employees, and each employee has their own computer. Every day, these users need to print documents. They need to print timesheets. They need to print expense reports. They need to print customer orders and so on. Without a network, each individual user's workstation would need to have their own printer. Now, if you think about it, how much time each day would that printer be actually used? Very little, right? So we would have excess capacity that was expensive. With a network, we can implement only a few shared printers on the network. The shared printers connected to the network and then can be used by many different users at once. Networks can also consolidate storage. Now, instead of requiring employees to store data on their local workstations, what they can do is actually save their data in a central location on a file server. They could even save data on a network-attached storage device. And this is very important because it reduces the amount of storage required on each workstation. And it also makes life easier for the network administrator because we store all of the sensitive company information in one location on that server, making it much easier to protect. And then instead of having to back up everybody's workstation every night to protect that data, all we have to do is back up the shared storage on the server.